everyone, my name is Nchedo.
And I'm Gbemi, and you're welcome to our vlog.
Yay!
So this is our first vlog, guys. We'd like you guys to please be nice as possible. Like, subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends. Share and spread the word as much as possible.
So we'll be giving you guys heads up about the economy. What is it about this economy?
Why should you care? To know about the economy?
Yeah. So you know how I think in 2015 when we were still in school, we used to buy Mary Kay foundation for 1,800 naira. Now Mary Kay is 5,000 naira. 5K.
5K.
And like I remember how you could do photo shoots for like 10K. Now, people will tell you one outfit, 80K. Wow.
Exactly. So like even Indomie, as basic as Indomie is, there was a time it was 35 naira. Now it's like 70 naira. Really? That's why you need to know about the economy. Because
for
everything that concerns you is increasing. Things are not going as well as, and I mean your pocket money or salary is not increasing the same way, so you need to know about the economy.
Very true. And you remember how you take that girl on a date and you pay like 3K. Now your pocket is,
before 5K could satisfy you, like going out and like you could get a lot of things. Now 5K, you can't even properly go out with 5K. Yeah. So that's why you need to know about.
So basically today we'll be talking about 4 key areas. We'll be talking about GDP, exchange rates, inflation and unemployment. So Gbemi, what do you understand by GDP?
GDP basically is the total amount of goods and services produced by people in an economy.
Yeah.
So it's individuals, companies, people in an economy basically. And this is made up of 3 different parts: consumption, investments, and government expenditure. Don't worry, I'll explain. Consumption is like the total amount of money we spend. I spend, Nchedo spends, you spend every single time. Investment is that little money that you put down and it multiplies to greater. It could be in form of shares, it could be in form of a farm, anything at all, as long as you're putting down money and it's multiplying.
Anything
investment. Then government spending, from salaries to building Third Mainland Bridge or repairing it, or building a hospital or school, whatever it is that the government is doing, bringing out money from their pockets to do, is government spending, and altogether GDP.
Yeah, and like it's the most common form of economic growth. So if you ask anybody, is your economy doing well, they will say, yes, our GDP is like 3 point something trillion dollars or naira. So that means our economy is growing. But people forget that it's not enough for, as Gbemi rightly said, it's possible for your government to be spending money, for investments to be increasing, for consumption to be increasing, but it doesn't necessarily equate to growth.
Exactly.
Yeah, because there's so many other things that affect growth rates. So for instance, if the government isn't spending money, you can't have investors because your government isn't making roads available, like they're not constructing roads, they're not paying salaries, or they're not even power, for instance.
Exactly.
No investor will want to come into Nigeria to invest in this country or set up his business because he's scared that he would need to power
have like
his
7 generators, have a backup for the backup for the backup for the backup.
Actually,
just in case anything happens.
Exactly. And another factor again that we have to consider is population growth. In Q1, just this first quarter.
Q1?
Yes, first quarter 2018. Our growth rates we grew by 1.95%. That's very good. But population growth, we're growing currently at 2.6%.
That's why I don't understand how people be clamoring for more children. I'm sorry. But like you have someone that has like 3 children and they're praying consistently for more. And then I see them have these kids and all I'm thinking is school fees, pampers,
actually,
baby food. So it's okay to have money, it's okay to be increasing, but are the numbers of people in the country, is the number of people in the country increasing as much as the money you have?
Yeah, like what?
You need to consider that.
Yes, you also need to, like what Gbemi is trying to explain is, so I'll give this illustration. Assuming I have a family of 2, so I'm married and I have 2 children, and my salary is 20,000 naira. It means per head in my family will get 5,000. But what if I increase to a family of 10? It means at the end of the day, we're all getting to 2K. Do you understand? Because the reality of it is that even if population is increasing, our salaries are not increasing.
Exactly.
The economy isn't growing as fast as the population. I think even recently, there was this article that I read, and it said Nigeria is going to increase to 400 million people by 2050.
Do we have money for 400
We're
million
not
people?
ready for it yet.
Do we even have food for 400 million people?
Very true.
So, like, we need to consider all these things, and this is why you should be concerned about your economy. If the economy doesn't have enough money to sustain 400 million people, then you as an individual, prices will be increasing, and you will not be able to sustain your lifestyle.
Which even brings us to our next topic, which is inflation. Like Gbemi rightly said, you need to be concerned about the economy, because if our economy isn't growing, prices are increasing, your standard of living is dropping because your salaries are not increasing. So why should you be bothered about inflation? What is inflation?
What is inflation exactly? I was going to say that. Inflation is, in simple terms, increase in prices. When prices are increasing from your Indomie from 35 naira to 70 naira, inflation. The Mary Kay Foundation that was 1.8 and now is 5,000. Inflation. That's why you need to know about the inflation. When inflation happens, what should you do? As an individual, how do you maintain yourself? How do you manage yourself so that you can still sustain your lifestyle? And then with the little you have, or with the same amount that you have. Because usually when inflation occurs, people's salaries don't increase.
Actually.
So how do you maintain how do you buy things that you still used to buy?
I don't think it's even possible for you to have inflation and your salary isn't increasing and you can still maintain your current standard of living. So that's why you need to be concerned, because if inflation rate is growing and your earning capacity isn't increasing, it means you have to drop your standard of living, which is why we even have a lot of people living below the poverty line in this country. By the way, the poverty line is $1 per day. A family lives under $1 per day. $1 is like how much, Vinny?
Like 400
naira. A family cannot
have 400 naira.
a
That's
day.
how bad it is.
That's how bad
in Nigeria.
it
And by
is.
earning capacity, what Nchedo means is the amount of money you earn, basically. We're trying to make it as easy as possible. So basically, the amount of money you earn, the amount of money you make as an individual or as a family.
Yeah, and like all of these things are interrelated. So if your inflation rate is increasing, there's a lot of things that that take place. So your bank is trying to, how do I even put it? So inflation rate is increasing. It means your interest rate is going to be going high, because
you can't borrow money anymore from the banks, or you're borrowing at a very, have you ever tried to go to the bank to borrow money? And then you hear them tell you that you're paying almost ×2 of what you're borrowing. And then you just turn back. You don't even want to know. Because it's not possible for you to use the money for whatever you want to use it for and still be able to pay back.
But then, you can't even blame those banks, because you can't even blame the government for increasing interest rates, because if inflation is increasing, it means there's too much money in circulation.
So they want to
too many money chasing few goods, and the government is trying to curtail the amount of money in circulation, because if you keep allowing this money to keep flying from changing hands up and down, it's going to be terrible for us. So all of these things are related, and it also brings us to the area of exchange rates. How do you think exchange rates even affect us as individuals?
So exchange rate is basically the amount that you exchange a particular currency for another. Basically, how much is $1 in naira? It's about 400 naira. So that's basically what exchange rate means. When the economy is not having enough investments, people aren't bringing their dollar, and we want to travel to America every summer, so you're not able to get as much dollar, or the dollar is extremely expensive. So the person that's bringing in spare parts is selling it at an extremely expensive rate. The bus driver cannot buy spare parts, so he's buying spare parts for ×2 of what it used to be. And the guy decides that, in order to be able to get my money back, I have to double the transportation. You're moving around. Pepper seller increases the amount because transportation is increased. So everything is interconnected. Everything affects everybody. And that's why
there's just a lot of there's a lot of things to talk about the economy.
So let's talk about unemployment. What's unemployment, Nchedo?
So in this simplest term or way ever, it's like having so much demand for little supply. Yeah? Okay, let me break it down again.
Simplest term. What's the simplest term?
Okay, I'm sorry. Unemployment basically means people do not have jobs in the country. Currently, our unemployment rate is over 20%.
Meaning that out of all the people in Nigeria, 20% do not have jobs or are not gainfully employed. Just like the lawyer, I heard there was a lawyer in Abuja that's earning 30K. She finished law school and she's earning 30,000 naira. Unemployment. Underemployment rather. But
yeah. Even underemployment is actually growing at 20%.
So I mean, people
our
are
labor
not
force,
employed.
Our labor force is currently growing faster than GDP is growing. It's growing at like maybe 1.65, and our current GDP growth rate is even up to that.
So like a lot of people don't have jobs, so they're not able to sustain their. I mean, if you don't have a job, how do you buy food? How do you send your kids to school? That's basically why you need to know about unemployment. So what do these things matter to you as an individual? As an individual, you need to know about your GDP, your unemployment, your inflation, so that you're able to sort of manage yourself. If you know how the economy is with unemployment, you understand the reason why you have to maintain that job and also have a backup in case.
And aside that, you need to develop skills.
Exactly.
You know, you have to
have. Everybody has a side hustle. Well, most people have side hustles. Everybody always wants to get more money, not because they have free time and they just want to get more like greedy. It's not like they're greedy or anything, but just so that they can, in case anything happens, just for safety. And also just so that they can have more money to sustain themselves. Yeah. That's basically why we need so much more. So as individuals, you need to know about the inflation, how you can get more. You need to know about unemployment. You need to know about all these things. We're all concerned because we are the economy.
If you want to learn more, follow us on our various social media handles.
Instagram, Facebook, and basically. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And we'd like your feedback. We want to know what you think. What do you want us to talk about? What don't you understand?
And please keep the conversation going.
Yeah, keep the conversation going, basically. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, tell your friends to tell their friends.